2, first start off by copying these notes down. So I know we've talked about in class, but you're going to want to 3D box this just because it's super foundational to everything. So take a moment, pause the video, write this stuff down. Now, as we've talked about, if it's a y squared and positive parabola, that means it'll open to the right. And that's because this is where the positive x values are laying. If it's negative, it opens left. And that's because that's where all the negative x values are. And you flip your thinking around, x squared goes up because that's where the positive y values are. And negative x squared goes down. That's where the negative y values are. And of course, let's recap P. That is the distance from vertex to focus and vertex to the directrix. Now let's actually do a couple of problems. So for our first example, notice how this equation doesn't really look like the equation we want it to be, which is in this form right here. So what we're going to have to do is complete the square, or CTS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the x's together, leave a blank here, and I'm going to move the 4y to the other side. And now I can see I need a plus 4 right here. So this factors to x plus 2 squared. Take out the 4 on the y part. And now we have our standard conic form. So again, we think of this as our standard conic form. From here, let's graph it. So we'll put our info box here. We know the vertex is -2, -1. We need our focus, LR, and we need our DTX, or our directrix. Our mental picture, this is x squared and positive, so in our mind we should think of a parabola like that. And I can see that this is 4, so 4p is equal to 4, so p must be 1. That's going to be very helpful. So now when I graph it, let's sketch it. The vertex is -2, -1. So there's our vertex. If p is 1, that means I'm going to go 1 up, and our focus should be right here. So our focus is now -2, 0. And the LR is going to be 2p away, so 1, 2. LR, 1, 2. LR. Let's sketch our parabola in. That's going to be -2 plus or minus 2, 0. And our DTX, that's going to be 1 unit down right there. Right there is our DTX. And that we can see is y equals -2. And we are done. That's everything. Here's our graph, info box, and our equation in standard conic form. Let's try one more here. I'm going to notice how the y squared is right here, so I'm going to keep that stuff on the left. So y squared minus 4y, that's -4x minus 4. Complete the square, so add 4 to each side there. So that's y minus 2 squared, that's equal to -4x. If you want, you can factor it out so it looks like this, but that's not really necessary, but some people do like to do this. That's more of a personal preference. Okay, from here, let's finish the problem. Let's make our info box. So I have my vertex, I know would be 0, 2. My focus, we don't know yet. LR, don't know. Directrix, don't know yet. But our mental picture, this is y squared negative, which means in our mind we're thinking, okay, this should be opening to the left. And I can see that I have a -4 there, so -4 should equal -4p, so p should be 1. Okay, with that, I can figure everything out. Let's do a quick sketch here. The vertex is 0, 2, so 1, 2. If I'm opening to the left, that means the focus should be on the left, and p is 1. So just move 1 left. There's our focus, which would be -1, 2, which means the directrix is 1 to the right. So I'll put that right here. dtx, that's x equals 1. And my LR points, if p is 1, I'm just going to go 2 in each direction. 1, 2, 1, 2, LR, LR, and then sketch. And there's our parabola. Let's make it into one nice coordinate using the focus. So I can see the -1 is constant, and then 2 plus or minus 2. So -1 right here, up 2, down 2. That's what this is saying. And we got it. Now for our last example, it says find the equation of a parabola. So for this one, the main thing to know is don't assume that's an LR. We really don't know that. If it tells it to you, great, but all these problems is probably not going to be one. So that's just a regular point. That's any given point on a parabola. What you do know is that is the vertex. And we can see that it's a negative y-squared parabola because it's opening left and it's negative. Which means, for our equation, we can start here. Y minus k squared is equal to -4p x minus h. We have the vertex, let's plug it in. That's y minus 1 squared is equal to -4p, and this would be x minus 2. So notice we're pretty close to the formula. We just don't know p. All we have is that single point right here. So what do we do every time a situation like this arises? Simply plug the point in. So plug in 1 and 0. So 0 minus 1 squared, that's -4p. That'd be 1 minus 2. That's 1 is equal to 4p. So p is a quarter, or you can think of it as 4p is 1. Either way, this is fine. Now we're going to plug that into here to make our equation. So y minus 1 squared, that's equal to, if p is a quarter, that's just -1 x minus 2. And there's our answer. And we can verify it pretty easily. The vertex is 2, 1. We can see that. And plug in 1, you should get 0. If I plug in 1 right here, I get -1 times -1. That's 0 minus 1 squared. And this is definitely true, because this would be 1 is equal to 1. So this definitely checks out.